I'm Gerald Bentley. This is Wrestling with Sales. Today, we are joined by Gypsy Mac. She is lighting up the strip in Las Vegas, just relocating to Las Vegas, getting involved in the wrestling scene there. Gypsy, thanks a lot for joining us here. I've been looking forward to talking to you.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, doing great. And, I really wanted to talk to you because I think it's interesting that you made a move across country, well, across the region, to be more ingrained in the wrestling community and to really kind of fight for your goal of being a championship professional wrestler. What motivated you to make that move from New Mexico to Las Vegas?
So, in New Mexico, there's no wrestling. There's just my training school, a couple of other training schools, and that's about it. Out in Vegas, you have so many different promotions, plus, you have a promotion that has access to a higher streaming service. So, you get more eyes on you, and it's bigger storylines, bigger fights. It's just like a bigger feel. So, I felt like that would help kind of boost me to the next level in my career.
Yeah, Future Stars of Wrestling, FSW, available nationally on Fight Plus, and then they also have the FSW network. So when you made the move, did you know that you were going to be involved in FSW, or did you kind of just move and said, I'm going to make it work, I'm going to fight for it?
Kind of both. So I wrestled at FSW prior once a year. It's hard to get out to Vegas. I usually wrestle more in like Colorado, Texas, Arizona.
Hmm.
So when I came out to FSW, I knew I was going to train with them and fight for my spot. And that's what I've been doing
So what's your weekly schedule? What what goes into a week in
in
making
my
it
life.
work as an independent wrestler? Yeah,
So behind all the glitz and the glamour of being a pro wrestler, I
sure.
still have to have streams of income. So Monday through Friday, I do work a boring little job that I have.
Okay.
But on top of that, I'm in the gym 5 to 6 days a week, depending if I'm wrestling that weekend or not. And then I'm in wrestling training 3 to 4 times a week, depending what I have going on or how my body's feeling, because sometimes I just cannot do it.
So it's a big time commitment. You're
Oh,
putting
yeah.
in, how much would you say in a week? 20 hours, 24 hours?
With the gym and everything, about 25, 30. And then if I go on the road, that's even more hours on my body committed to this craft of mine.
Sure. Now, being in Las Vegas, that probably helps a little bit with the road work because you can pick and choose a little bit more when you're going to go somewhere since you have access to Future Stars of Wrestling, Dark Arts, Versus Pro, Pride Style, Grap House, Big Valley. There's a lot of active promotions going on, plus some tours that come through the city. Have you
Yeah,
been able to use
it's
that
nice.
and kind of work into the Las Vegas wrestling community?
I've been making my way through there. I've worked at Versus in the past. I actually worked at there more than I would work at FSW.
Okay.
And then I just made my debut at Big Valley not that long ago. And I made my debut at Dark Arts when I moved out here too. So I've been dipping my toes a little bit into getting acclimated across all of the different promotions in town.
Yeah, it's really unique versus any other city in the country. Maybe save Las Vegas or sorry, Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's definitely a hub like LA, and that's why I think it's popping here more because a lot of wrestlers are realizing, oh, I can live in Vegas. It's not that expensive, and it's still close enough to Cali that I
Hmm.
can still have eyes on me out there. So it's definitely growing.
Yeah, as a dealer, you spend a lot of time buying cars at auction. If you're using Edge Pipeline to manage your purchases, then this is big news. Montway Auto Transport has partnered with Auction Edge to add a transportation option onto Edge Pipeline. Now dealers can manage their auction buys and book transportation with just one click right in the Edge Pipeline platform. As a nationwide leader in auto transport, Montway understands a dealer's need for speed and efficiency and can arrange single or multi vehicle moves from auction to any lot in the country. With Montway's technology, dealers can gain full transit visibility and tracking after an order has been booked, making it much easier to manage inventory. Buy, ship, and track all in Edge Pipeline. Go to www.montway.com/WS to learn more. So you came to Las Vegas as a champion of some territories, and now with FSW, that's just a shot of the women's roster from FSW. It's definitely a different experience because now you have a lot of people to compete with and also to train with.
It's really nice considering where I trained at, I was one of the only, well, I am the only girl, and then now there's another girl, but I'm no longer there.
Hmm.
Compared to now where I get to wrestle with so many different people and learn from different experiences because some girls like lucha, some girls do strong styles. So it's really nice to get to learn from everyone's different backgrounds.
How would you describe your own style?
I'm definitely a hybrid. I have some lucha stuff in my arsenal, but at the end of the day, I'm a brawler. I like to fight.
Okay. And, just talking about the style, where does the name come from? Where did Gypsy Mac come from?
So I kind of just threw it out there one day. I've always thought it was a pretty name. I heard it and I was like, Gypsy, like that would be a very interesting name. If I was ever a wrestler, I wanted to go by something like Cher or Rihanna, where I just needed the
Okay.
one name. And I feel like Gypsy I can do that with. And it's kind of unique. It's very different. It's a very mysterious in a way.
Hmm.
And it goes well with my character in the ring. I'm the misfortune teller, so I'm into tarot cards and crystal balls and a little bit of witchcraft, so it kind of goes with the culture as well.
Now, are you actually interested in that, or is it really just
I
the
am.
the name brought the interest, or the interest brought the name?
Yeah, I actually am into it. I do tarot card readings for myself. I've never
Okay.
looked into doing it for other people, but I definitely practice it personally.
So, what do the cards say the future holds for Gypsy?
The cards say that I am making it to the top.
Well, there we go. And,
Yep.
you know, in just about 4 years, right? 4 years in the
Yeah,
ring?
I've been wrestling in the ring for two. The other two were either out on injury or training.
Okay, so even quicker in that short time period, because a lot of wrestlers will tell you it takes 10 years to really get it down and to be at your best. In just that short period of time, you've already had a match with the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena, that was available on national TV, AEW. How did that come about? How were you able to get into that level? Because there's plenty of wrestlers across the country that have spent 10-year careers and never been on AEW, WWE, or Impact TV.
I definitely think my social media presence has a lot to do with it. I try really hard to present who I am as a wrestler and a little bit as a person on there. And one day during the holiday season, I got a message from one of the bookers from AEW asking if I could be an extra. So I figured, why not? It was in Colorado. I drive there for shows all the time anyway.
Hmm.
Came, did the show, was just kind of hanging out an hour before the show started. Sorry, got tongue
Yeah.
tied. I saw my name on the board that I was wrestling Athena, so it was very short notice, but it was a really good experience.
Now, had you seen her wrestle before, either as Athena in AEW or as Ember Moon in the WWE?
I watched her as Ember Moon on the WWE. I was super into NXT before I started wrestling, so she
Hmm.
was someone I really enjoyed watching. And I was always watching her matches because I liked to watch AEW Dark because I was always curious on like who's the like hot people on the indies.
Oh, sure,
And
sure.
you could just see her aggression. So every time I would watch it, I was like, oh my God, if I ever get in there with her, she's going to kill me.
And how did it go? What was it like wrestling in front of the big arena crowd and getting in there with the top level competition?
I was very nervous. I have a little bit of stage fright. So being in front of that many people made me super nervous, but they were chanting my name. So I knew they were there to support me. And being in there with someone like Athena was a great learning experience. It was very surreal to be able to do it on that level.
Well, stage fright wise, it was probably good they just told you about an hour in advance.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I would have been freaking out about it the entire time I was there.
Yeah, you didn't have to think about it for the week leading up. It was just boom, here you go.
Yeah.
And and you think it was mainly just seeing your social media and that's what drew them to reach out to you?
Yeah, I don't know if it was that or if they reach out to people in Colorado and kind of see who's in the area because there was a couple of other talent that was there from the school in Colorado, but I
Hmm.
was one of the few people that they brought in from New Mexico or like even Arizona or Utah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because that is a great opportunity that a lot of people, like I said, go years and don't get. Now, now that you're relocated in Las Vegas, you've been going, you've had a couple of years active. What other promotions do you want to get into? And how much work do you have to do on building your own brand? Because you have to sell yourself to these promotions to get the spot on the card.
To answer the first part, one of the big promotions that I would love to work for is House of Glory Wrestling or Prestige Wrestling.
Okay.
They're bigger names on the indies, so you get a lot more eyes on you. It's better talent, people that have been doing it for years and years, so it's
Hmm.
great exposure. But to get there is the tricky part because you have to make sure you're committed to the gym, you're committed to training, you're constantly traveling and getting shows and getting content out there. So it's a big challenge and it's a full time job. Like my entire life revolves around wrestling.
Yeah, it's a big commitment, and you really are selling. I mean, at each level, you're selling, not just in the match, but like you said, on the social medias, to the promoters, and being willing to sacrifice and put in the work to be ready to go in the gym, in the training. That's got to be just a grind. What motivates you to keep pushing and to keep fighting to get those opportunities?
One of the big ones for me is the kid in me. I want to make her happy and know
Okay.
that this is something we can actually achieve. Because, like, when I was a kid, I always watched wrestling and it was girls that were models and so beautiful and athletic. And I was never that growing up. I didn't even play sports.
Okay,
I
I
was a
was going to ask. Yeah.
skateboarder.
All right.
So I never thought I could do it. And then when I got super into fitness and got a little bit more athletic and found out indie wrestling was a thing, I was like, you know what? If I can do it, if I can put my mind to anything, it's going to be this.
There you go. And you're making it work, balancing with a full-time job and putting in the schedule with the gym, with the training.
Yeah, it's definitely consumed my life.
And even if you go on to some of your socials, you're marketing to get those bookings
Oh,
with,
yep, there is all
and
of my
right there,
socials.
yeah, the misfortune teller, the Gmail for booking, your Twitter, your Instagram, and now your threads
I know I need to put my TikTok on there now
and the
too.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yep.
So does most of the bookings come from social media? They see your social medias, or is it more word of mouth
I would say about 75% of it comes from social media.
with both your post and then also you have your own YouTube channel, so you have some of the matches and some of your highlights on there.
Yeah, as a promoter, you're constantly looking for new talent, especially female talent, because there's not a lot of us. And once someone comes on the scene and is hot, they get scooped up right away. So you got to outsource again. And I feel like social media is a great way to display your talents because you can put all of like your clips, your content, your marketing. You can show
Hmm.
promoters too what you bring to the table. It's not just like, oh, here's a cute picture of me. Like, I'm posting what I'm doing every week. I'm constantly promoting my matches. I'm in the gym. I'm training. So promoters see that you're putting in the work and want to invest in you.
Yeah, because they're not going to want to travel somebody out there, put them up in their show for maybe one of the feature matches of the show and go, this isn't what
Uh,
we wanted because you're drawing your 1,000 people and you want to keep those 1,000 people coming back. So there is
exactly.
definitely some pressure even on the smaller level and the some of the independent shows that maybe you haven't even heard of the territories before?
Well, one promotion, for instance, I love looking at the growth of it. When I first started, there was maybe 10 people in the crowd.
Okay.
Next show, it got a little bigger. I started selling more merchandise, taking more pictures. Next show, people coming in from like 4 hours away to come watch us wrestle. And you kind of build that community. So that's why you want to make sure you have people that are going to bring these people back or make you new fans.
Yeah, and something that I think really jumps out when you go to some of the different independent wrestling shows, just the number of kids there and how excited the kids are in watching the shows. I mean,
Yeah, the
it's
kids love
really
it.
a throwback. And I think this shirt probably sells well with the kids too.
Yeah, the kids love it. My trainer actually makes my shirts for me. So
Okay.
his daughter was wearing it the other day and she's like, "It's so cute, the little cartoon." And I'm like, it's a good one. I'm glad I got that one printed."
Yeah, and just so people know, it's not like there's a merchandise department either. It's you.
All
I mean,
me.
it's
I
you
even
reaching
make
out to
half of
people.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to
so
outsource.
and a big key of making those independent shows successful is that one-on-one impact at the merch table. You have the intermission, you're set up, you got your merchandise. I mean, it's a true barometer right there. Hey, how popular am I here? How over am I with the crowd? If you get a line to take pictures and you're selling some shirts, right?
Yeah, it's a great feeling to know that you connected with the crowd, especially in a new area. I went to Utah and I worked for a promotion I haven't worked for before. After the show, I had a line of people wanting to buy merch and take pictures with me and talk to me. So it's a great feeling knowing I was able to connect with some fans out there and make some new ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because that is such an important part of it is to sell and to create that impact. I mean, you're seeing it right now on the national brands and WWE. All the talk right now is about LA Knight and
Yep.
how he is connecting with the fans on an organic level because he's not winning. And he really wasn't getting much of a push, but
No.
now he's as popular as L.A. Knight as he was as Eli Drake back in the NWA. And really, it's a credit to him in being able to connect with the audience. So the same thing that's happening in the WWE, it happens in independent shows, like you said, a new territory in Utah, and the kids are all going, Gypsy Mac.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
that's
have to do a
great.
little.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah,
Get the Gypsy Mac Baby chant going.
we'll do something. I'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, I have to get a new shirt.
There you go. Marketing.
Yeah. So, what else is coming up? What are your goals as we wind down the I mean, you could say wind down now. We're heading into the back half of the year. Back to
My
school
favorite
season
time of
starts.
year,
Yeah.
fall. This Vegas heat is killing me. I cannot stand it.
Yeah, at least it's a dry heat.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But it's 117 degrees, so yeah.
It's terrible. But for the rest of the year, I have a lot of bookings all the way until October. I don't have any days off. After that, I'm probably going to take some time to go visit family and then get back on the grind. I'm trying to win another championship before the end of the year, maybe even more than one if I can. And I'm trying to get on bigger promotions. The TV time is what matters, being shown on Fight TV or
Sure.
any of those platforms. So that's my next goal, is to get on another promotion like that.
How much work do you put in to grow your own social media channels? Grow your YouTube channel just to promote that own brand, the Gypsy Mac brand. What kind of time does
I'm
that take?
constantly on social media. I loved it as a kid, so it's kind of like my hobby, which
Hmm.
is kind of funny. So I'm just constantly posting reels or videos or pictures and kind of learning what hits and what misses, because sometimes you can post a video and no one cares. And
Sure.
then 2 hours later, you post the same video and everyone's all over it for some reason.
Hmm.
So it's also taking the time to figure out how these social media channels work to get your content to be seen by everyone.
Yeah, because they're all a little bit different. They all have a little bit different algorithms, and you could have different communities really out of each of the social media channels.
And it's finding your niche too, you know, like you have to find what works for you and what draws people to you. So not everything is going to work the same for everyone. I might post me doing a drop kick and it gets 2 likes, but then I post a video of me doing a suplex or something and everyone's eating it up.
Hmm.
So it's
And
kind of funny.
yeah, and it's just a matter of repetition to see what hits and what misses over
Yeah, just
time.
got to throw it to the wall and see what sticks there.
Yeah. Well, and I know, like you said, you're getting involved in those promotions with a little bit more TV. You got FSW, so you're going to get some exposure on the FSW network on Fight Plus, and of course, they can find people watching this. They can find some of your matches on YouTube just by
Yes.
searching.
Yeah, just look up Gypsy Mac Wrestling and all of my matches will pop up there.
How many do you have you done that yourself? How many matches show up when you search yourself on YouTube?
I don't know. I know there's like a few that pop up because I wrestled for Mission Pro Wrestling my first year in,
Okay.
and that was on Title Match Network. So that
Hmm.
has like a couple thousand of views. So I know that pops up, and then a couple of the other ones that I've done that are bigger, and then my channel will pop up too.
Well, that's a pretty neat promotion to have worked with. That's owned by
Oh yeah.
Thunder Rosa, the former AEW champion, and
Yeah, it was great to
almost an
get
all
to
women's
learn from her.
promotion.
Yeah, they changed it recently. I know they have like a couple of guys here and there, which is
Hmm.
fun to kind of mix it up, but they're still running with all women for the most part.
How was that working in that promo?
It's great. I loved the girls. I got to work with a lot of people now that are signed. So I got to work with Masha there. I got to meet her.
Okay.
Maddie Ronkowski, who now is like the NWA tag champion. So
Hmm.
it was a great experience to get that kind of exposure.
It's got to feel good being involved in wrestling at this time because you have not just the WWE, where if you were involved 10 years ago, that was it pretty much. Now you
Yeah.
have WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, the NWA, Ring of Honor, New Japan's going heavily into America, especially on the West Coast, and some of the bigger independent promotions like FSW, like Defy, like HOG. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of paths for you to take.
Most definitely, and I feel like that makes me feel a little bit better as a wrestler because when you first start, everyone's like, "Oh, you're never gonna make it," like, you know, stuff like that, and seeing that there's so many different avenues that you can take, there's a path for everyone in this industry.
Yeah, and all sorts of different styles, different sizes, and just completely different spirit of promotions. Where ideally would you like to see yourself a few years down the road?
My dream is to go to WWE,
Okay.
but I know it's gonna take me a long time and a lot of learning, maybe even another move to Florida. But I would be happy just wrestling on the bigger promotions like House of Glory or Defy, one of those ones. I just want
Hmm.
to be able to do this every day for the rest of my life.
And do it as your full-time job, not your second full-time job.
Exactly.
Well, hey, let's give you another title. Get the dealership rescue wrestling with sales title here. Just kind of wind it down. A few quick questions in the championship round.
All right.
Talking with Gypsy Mac, the newest member of the Las Vegas wrestling scene. Who do you want to wrestle in Las Vegas that you haven't had a chance to yet? You got a huge roster to pick from there.
You know, I would really like a one-on-one with Alice Blair because it hasn't happened.
Okay,
We've wrestled like in multi-man matches and tag matches, but we've never been in the ring with just us two.
good answer. And she's currently one of the champions in Pride Style.
Yep.
tag champion, Las Vegas murder scene with Lazarus.
I love that
So,
name.
yeah, that is a neat name. They need somebody to be the Las Vegas CSI, I guess, to go after him.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
How about what country would you like to wrestle in that you haven't had a chance to?
Japan.
Japan. Great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Joshi wrestling, so I would love that opportunity.
Excellent. And just for everybody watching, got a lot of Funko toys in the back.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of Funkos are you collecting?
So I have like Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus. I have my wrestlers up here,
Okay.
some like scary movie ones, and then off to this other side, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z and South Park fan. That's
Okay.
taking up the other half of my wall.
Well, there you go. And of course, you can go ahead and search on the social medias for Gypsy. Let's pop those up there one more time.
Oh, thank
Twitter
you.
at
That makes
Gypsy
it so
Mac,
easy.
Instagram at the Gypsy Max. That would also work on Threads. And you can subscribe to her YouTube channel at Gypsy Mac Wrestling. And while you're doing that, you can go ahead and collect one of her shirts. The cuteness,
Yes, message
aggression, and
me.
yeah, just hit her up. Maybe is there a Misfortune Teller shirt as well?
I'm actually in the works of coming up with a new one, so it's gonna
Okay.
hit soon. Yeah,
Always working. You got to build the brand up. Like,
exactly. You got to have different choices.
yeah. Gypsy, thanks for joining us here and for stepping in the ring on Wrestling with Sales. Now, if you are looking at wrestling with moving some inventory, you can always reach out to our friends at Montway Auto Transport. Just visit them at www.montway.com/WS. They're helping you out moving your cars from the auction with Auction Edge Pipeline. In the meantime, new episodes every week. Follow Gypsy Mac. And Gypsy, thanks again for stepping in the ring. Really appreciate having you on.
Thank you for having me.